really think that Bobby Lashley has time to listen to all of this nonsense?
Yeah, of course he does.
All right, first things first, I'm not your bro.
Oh.
Second
What's
of
going
all,
on YouTube? It's sensitive place to be chilling. We're showing Mr. A&E back to give you guys a Monday Night Raw review for November 23rd, 2020. The Raw right before Thanksgiving. Okay, so I hope you guys are having plans to have a safe and happy Thanksgiving out there. So here's the Raw after Survivor Series, and then of course Team Raw did a clean sweep of SmackDown. So that means Adam Pearce has come out, brought the whole Team Raw out. Everybody stayed their clean because we're trying to find out who the next challenger for Drew McIntyre's WWE Championship is going to be. Well, then, of course, AJ Styles says, he led the team and made everybody work together because he's the captain, that he should obviously be the one to do it. Keith Lee interrupts and says, well, I'm the one who did do the closing, bring our team, bring up the victory for us because he did pin Jey Uso in the final one. And then, Matt Riddle said, well, I did take out King Corbin. Wait a minute. Does that make me king, bro? And then Sheamus gets in there and talk about something. Yeah, Dopey is your name. And then he was like, yo, chill, Fireface. It was pissing him off because, and AJ Styles said, we know that you're best friends with Drew McIntyre and you've been giving him the Claymore sword and everything like that. But that's not going to work here because I'm the captain. And then Adam Pearce is like, well, everybody said their claim. So Braun Strowman, last but not least, state your claim. And he said, last. What do you mean last? So he got all really mad, and Adam Pearce is like, okay, calm down. So he grabs him up, and he's fussing at him, and I guess he'll like to be disrespected, and his head buzz Adam Pearce, and then it's just like, wow, I didn't understand that, and obviously, well, now Braun Strowman is being suspended, part of storyline, which I'm like, I don't know really where this is going, per se, but that's how this starts off. Well, okay. We go right on into the first matchup of the night for the Raw Tag Team Championships. The New Day taking on the Hurt Business. I called it. I will continue to call it. By the end of 2020, the Hurt Business will have the United States Championship and the Raw Tag Team Championships. I'm sticking to that. And this time, I was like, well, it's a little bit too early to get this match. I know you're going to probably do it at TLC, but I think they probably still will do that because in this matchup, the matchup's going pretty good there, but Shelton Benjamin and Kofi are outside fighting, and there's a double count out just like Survivor Series. And then the New Day win the matchup. Well, they retain the titles because you can't lose out off a count out. Well, then MVP comes in there and says, no, we're not going to do this. You don't want to lose that way. You know what I'm saying? We want to start it. Why don't you restart it? So they restart the match. As Kofi's charging Shelton Benjamin, he gets launched over the top rope and he flies high and lands kind of awkwardly on his left knee. And throughout the whole focus of that, they're focusing on Kofi Kingston's left knee. He finally takes out to Xavier Woods as Xavier Woods and Cedric Alexander are exchanging blows. But then Cedric Alexander goes and attacks Shelton. He flies to the outside on Kofi, but then Shelton has him up in the powerbomb, but then Xavier kind of reverses it and goes for a very sloppy code red, looks like he was going for, and pins Shelton Benjamin, and the New Day retain the Raw Tag Team Championships as Hurt Business is pissed. I do believe, like I said, the New Day is not going to be hurt losing the Tag Team Championships, but I do believe at TLC, the Hurt Business will get the Raw Tag Team Championships, and they will be the dominant faction because the way they have been booking the Hurt Business and the way they have been giving them the attention, you can tell that WWE wants to do something with the Hurt Business, maybe on that Evolution style type thing. Lana's backstage getting interviewed by Kayla Braxton, talking about how she was a sole survivor at Survivor Series ill, and how that now, since the Raw Best Survivor Series team was talking about a championship opportunity, well, you get opportunity against Asuka, and she kind of brushed up the question, saying that she wasn't ready for that. So Adam Pearce comes out from the training room and he's all holding his head, and then he's about to announce what his situation is going to be for the WWE Championship. But then Bobby Lashley cuts him off and says, look, I want to let you know that I am the only champion that won a Survivor Series. And you think about it, he's right. Drew McIntyre lost. Asuka lost. The New Day lost. Those are all the Raw champions. And he's like, I'm the only champion that won. So before you make a decision, we need to have a talk. So that was the thing. So then we come back from commercial. Then she tried to get to talk to Adam Pearce again. And then Adam Pearce, as he's about to say his grievances, Randy Orton comes up. And Randy Orton talks about and he deserves, to have another shot at the WWE Championship, which he really doesn't. But once again, that's all we get to. So then finally, Adam Pearce is to come out and talk about what. Well, first of all, I think we do get the Firefly Funhouse because I'm sorry, I'm going a little bit of ahead of the game. So Adam Pearce finally comes out and says, "Look, there are going to be 3 sets of singles matches tonight. It's going to be Matt Riddle versus Sheamus, Keith Lee versus Bobby Lashley, and Randy Orton taking on AJ Styles. And the winners of those matches will go have a triple threat match next week on Raw. And then after that, the winner of that one is going to face Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship." So, and I like how each match, well, my Sheamus and Riddle, even though they just fought once, is a fresh kind of. AJ and Randy also done this before. The Bobby and Keith is a fresh match. So I was like, okay, I'm cool with that. So we get the first matchup of Sheamus taking on Matt Riddle. I'm sorry, I can't keep going with the Riddle thing, but Matt Riddle. And I'm telling you right now, when these guys like kind of like create some kind of magic or something, because they have a damn good matchup. At first, Matt Riddle is just trying to get Sheamus to be like, "Look, man, bro," and then Sheamus like, "No, you called me Fireface." Like, he is so pissed about this Fireface type thing. Well, like I said, the match is good. This is a hard-hitting, brute contest by Sheamus and Matt Riddle, and like they are both, giving it their all in this one, to the point where it's like, there's like a little close calls. Sheamus hits a white noise from the top rope on the Matt Riddle. I swore that was going to be it. Matt Riddle does, he kicks out. Sheamus is in all kinds of shock, and then Matt Riddle goes for the kicks again. Sheamus picks him up on his shoulders, but Matt Riddle rolls through. He tries to get him in submission, but Sheamus catches him into a Texas Cloverleaf. And as he has Matt Riddle in Texas Cloverleaf, Riddle comes up and then rolls Sheamus up, and it puts all his body weight on his legs. And then Matt Riddle gets the 3 count in a damn good matchup by Sheamus and Matt Riddle, because either one of them could have won that. I think they're going to save Sheamus versus Drew McIntyre for the Royal Rumble, because they're friends. I don't think it's going to be the WrestleMania match. I don't want it to be the WrestleMania match, to be honest with you. But it was a good match. So Riddle is now moving on to the triple threat matchup. Now we get the Firefly Funhouse segment, because Alexa Bliss is going to be taking on her former best friend Nikki Cross tonight, and then we have a lesson on friendship and how friends are bad, and they really don't have your best interest at heart, because somebody who thought was a friend, they keep going back to that Randy Orton clip of Randy Orton burning down the Wyatt compound, and then but some voice comes out of nowhere talking about how you should not take friends for granted, and it's good to have friends, and there's friendship frog, and they was like, well, where did he come from? And then Alexa Bliss, goes over and gets into demon mode and destroys the frog. Like, so you see it killing it with the cutscenes. And then Friendly Frog is dead. And then they have a little moment of silence, of like in memoriam for Friendly Frog. And then Bray Wyatt makes a joke, like, well, he finally croaked. They laugh. And then Alexa Bliss says, I'm trying to get ready for tonight's match. So he does a little thing, and the scary eyes come up. So I thought it was a really good segment of the Firefly Funhouse. So now backstage, Asuka's talking about, so you want a shot at my WWE Women's Championship because you're so Survivor? He said, well, you know what? She's like, no, Asuka, I didn't say they'd be nice to, but no, I'm cool. But then Asuka says, no, Asuka's ready for all challenges, and he'll come see you in the ring. So now we're getting Lana versus Asuka, which I'm like, I still don't understand where this payoff is coming from. And they, the Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler are on the outside. And then Asuka gets knocked to the outside, and they said, look, it's Lana. You're the women's champion. You can't take her out already. It's Lana. Like, still. And then Asuka takes the water, and that was on the announce table, and sprinkles it all over Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. And then they go in and start attacking Asuka, which causes a disqualification. The match gets thrown out. They try to put Asuka through the announce table, but then Lana kind of saves her, and then we get an impromptu tag team match player. So we get Asuka and Lana taking on Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax, and once again the match is really much of nothing, as Shayna Baszler tries to put Lana in the Caribou clutch while she's on the apron. Asuka rolls up for a 3 count and wins the matchup, and Asuka and Lana make it out of there, so Lana does not get put through the table for the 10th straight week. So the curse has been broken, I guess. Backstage, Riddle wants to talk to Bobby Lashley. Where's the big guy at, man? I want to wish him luck. And then MVP says he's getting ready, but he said, look, I heard you got a little business thing going on, but look, I got a couple business proposals. He says, look, what does everybody love? Pizza. What does everybody love? Yogurt. I'm thinking of yogurt flavored pizza, bro. It's something we could probably call it Brogurt. And the MVP is looking at him and just looking at you like, why are you even talking to me like this right now? So he said, you think Bobby Lashley has time to listen to this right now? He said, well, yeah. And he said, well, first off, I'm not your bro. Matt Riddle hits the, aw. MVP almost cracks. He's just like, don't. He stays in character, so it's good. He says, look, all right, I appreciate your entrepreneurship. You can come by in the next couple weeks and give us a couple ideas. But if we like the ideas, then we can be in business. But if we don't like them ideas, then there will be business. So that's how the clip ends. Not necessarily knowing, like, Matt Riddle is not going to join the Hurt Business, obviously, but I don't know if that's the Hurt Business next challenge or whatever the case may be. Like, maybe Matt Riddle may be trying to go for the United States Championship, and with Bobby Lashley name dropped, like, why would he come out to Hurt Business anyway? Because I don't think Matt Riddle's going to go up against Drew McIntyre. He's not ready yet, but this could be setting up for playing Easter eggs for the next feud. We get a video package between Drew McIntyre and Roman Reigns in their awesome match at Survivor Series. Then we get to Alexa Bliss taking on Nikki Cross. And Nikki Cross is pissed. She tries to she get an interview backstage, but now she's fed up with Alexa Bliss. She goes out there and she's like, she tries one more time, but like, no, she starts beating up Alexa Bliss. And there's one point she throws Alexa Bliss, and Alexa Bliss, she started crying. But then she wants to go grab her, and she's crying some more. She's like, Nikki, what's going on? And she's crying, and Nikki falls for this shit. Dumb babyface syndrome. And then Alexa Bliss turns into a Sister Abigail or Nikki Cross and takes her out and pins her in a very Harley Quinn unique way, and then wins the matchup. So obviously this Nikki Cross got betrayed. Me personally, the only way to combat that Alexa Bliss is crazy Nikki Cross. You need to get crazy Nikki Cross back as soon as they can, as soon as possible. A matchup that I was excited to see: Keith Lee taking on Bobby Lashley, and the winner's going to go with Matt Riddle next week for that triple threat matchup. And this is a fresh matchup, never seen before. And I said these are two big guys that are just going to go at it. And of course, Lashley is more of the cut version than Keith Lee. And I thought for what it was, they had a very entertaining big man style clash of matchup. And Bobby Lashley showing how strong he is, and how they had their little shoulder clashes that none of them was going down. On the outside, though, Bobby Lashley has to move. He puts him up on the shoulders and runs the person into the pole, the turnbuckle thing. And what happened was Keith Lee is heavy. He was struggling with it. And as he's running, you see him like lose his balance. And Keith Lee kind of hits the ring post, but Bobby takes full blow of that ring post. They don't even show Bobby. They just keep showing Keith Lee go to commercial. When he come back, they must have got it up, but Bobby is bleeding on the side of his head. So it's like that Brock Lesnar. So he really did get like a legit type of injury right there. We go back into the ring now, and then Bobby Lashley is still working on Keith Lee. Goes for a stalling suplex, which I thought was very impressive. He didn't stall him. He just hit him with a suplex. And then tries to get the hurt lock in him, but Keith Lee kind of he gets out of it, and then Lashley has him in a sleeper hold, and Keith Lee does the Big Show Mick Foley WrestleMania 15 and just falls back on his back, all that weight going down on Bobby Lashley, which it got to suck. MVP comes in and attacks Keith Lee, so causes disqualification. So I figured, because they want to keep Bobby Lashley strong, but they also want to keep Keith Lee strong. So there wasn't going to be a clean finish with this matchup. But however, when it comes to, just kayfabe, if I was MVP, I would just kind of kick Bobby Lashley, because that would disqualify Keith Lee, and then that means Bobby Lashley goes to a triple threat. And that way Keith Lee does not look weak at all, because he got screwed over by the Hurt Business. And then, if Keith Lee's not winning next week to go up against Drew McIntyre, which I think he's going to, then there was no point putting Keith Lee in that matchup. But having, the way they're trying to build Bobby Lashley up, but he is the United States champion, I still think that Matt Riddle, Bobby Lashley thing is going to be a necessary thing. So, we go on to the main event now, which like I said, I thought that Bobby Lashley Keith Lee match was a pretty good one. So, Randy Orton taking on AJ Styles. So AJ Styles comes out there with his bodyguard, and then it's Randy Orton So we've seen these two before have a good match on SmackDown, a good match at WrestleMania. So even though with the lights, but it comes time for another decent matchup here. I thought, but then Randy Orton's on the outside and he's on the barricade, and then the Fiend lights and music goes off. You see the Fiend by the barricade, kind of peek his head over, and Randy Orton looks and kind of scares him, and he just disappears. But Randy Orton tries to get back to the swing of things. AJ tries to go for phenomenal forearm. He takes AJ off. He does his spot where he's on the ropes and he bounces up and stands on there, and somebody kicks his leg or arm, and it'd be scaring the shit out of me that he's gonna come down and really hurt himself. But he's a professional. He holds on to it. Randy Orton goes and hits the Randy Orton DDT on AJ Styles. Goes for the RKO, but then the lights go out. The whole Fiend thing comes out, and then as Orton's in the corner, you see the Fiend that's right behind him and screams. It creeps out Orton. And then the lights go back off and on, and Orton's distracted. AJ Styles is already on the apron, goes for the phenomenal forearm, pins Randy Orton, and wins the final spot to go on to the triple threat match. So it's going to be Matt Riddle, Keith Lee, and AJ Styles. It's like the Battle of Los Angeles. It's like, you know, PWG. It's like all kinds of indie wrestling right there. That's going to be a dope match. I can't wait to see. Especially because when Matt Riddle and Keith Lee can, like, you know, Matt Riddle and Keith have history also. And AJ Styles and all that, they can bump around for Keith Lee. It's going to be great. It really is. So that was Raw this week. Actually, Raw gets a pass from me because those 3 qualifying matches were some good matches. I really enjoyed, especially the Sheamus and Riddle one. I didn't care too much about the whole Lana stuff. I don't know where the Lana thing is going. Honestly, I don't think it got nobody over from what happened at Survivor Series. The Firefly Funhouse was good. The whole segment, the New Day and the Hurt Business was good. I was hoping they were going to restart that matchup. So Raw has no reason to get a bad grade from me. So Raw gets a passing grade. So post out your comments down below. How did you guys feel about Monday Night Raw this past Monday? Are you guys gonna be watching the SmackDown Thanksgiving? I know I want to do it, but my review is not going to come till late because it is the holiday time. Trying to spend it with the family that I can. Try to be as safe as possible. Trying to hopefully get some good stuff. So, you know, we'll see what happens. But post your comments down below. Hit the like button because it really helps out the video. Hit the subscribe button for more WWE content right here on NC Studios. So once again, it's NC place to be. Chill, Mr. A&D, and the fan react. Oh my God, I'm in the Raw video, and the Nerd Coalition is out.